Robert, why are hundreds of aged care facilities facing cash flow problems if they fail to upgrade their facilities?
Well, the reality is today that the decision about where older people go to live is more and more being made by their children. The children are better off than they have been in the past. They're usually baby boomers themselves, and they judge the accommodation in the sense that they look at it as somewhere that they might be comfortable living there themselves. And they certainly make decisions about making sure that mum or dad is living in a good quality environment. And most importantly, most of them make the comment that they do not want their mother or their father living in someone else's bedroom. So the days of nursing homes where you've got 2 or 3 people living in one room are really numbered.
Robert, the sheer number of people going into aged care and of course their children who may well be cashed up and be quite articulate, what does this mean to governments and to the aged care industry per se? These are very articulate people.
Well, in many cases people might have a physical disability as they get older, but they're quite mentally astute, and these people need to be looked after and treated that way and respected. We see a situation now where over 50% of people living in nursing homes are suffering from some form of depression, and much of that is due to the fact that they're quite mentally alert, but their body is failing them, and they're put into an environment which actually accentuates that with other people. So from a planning point of view, it's really important that we design facilities that are giving people a good quality of life, good facilities, things like computer rooms, coffee lounges and things of that nature, which have not been included in nursing homes in the past, but are increasingly being done so. And this helps aged care operators attract people that can afford to live there, people that can perhaps pay a bit more. And I think most importantly, it's giving a good quality of life for the residents who are moving in.
Robert, many families face the heartbreak situation of having to put either one of their parents into an aged care facility, and this means the breaking up of their whole social structure as a family. How do you see designers playing a role in dealing with that issue, which is going to become an increasing one?
It is indeed a sad situation when you have a couple that have lived together 40, 50, 60 years or more, and for the first time in their lives they become permanently separated because one of them is going to need some sort of permanent care. And what is starting to happen these days with government funding, it means that the government will assist the person that is perhaps certified that they need to live in one of these accommodation facilities, and the other partner can't. We're starting to see situations where we're now designing for larger rooms that can take couples. One couple might, one half of that couple might be living in there permanently with the level of care that they need. The other half of that couple might come and visit and have overnight stays. So we're seeing situations such as nursing homes with double beds, where the couple can be together once, 2, 3 times a week, whatever they're comfortable with. But it gives them the opportunity of actually living with their partner in an assisted accommodation situation, but going back to the family home and living the life with their kids too.
Robert, just give us a little bit of an explanation of what would the layout look like. Let's call them a super room, for instance. What would the layout be like?
Well, a typical room these days that's being designed is probably 15 square metres plus a bathroom that caters for a disabled person. We're starting to design rooms now that are perhaps 20, 25 square metres. They've got capacity for a double bed or 2 single beds, obviously a television, a small kitchenette, a small table and 2 or 3 chairs so guests can come in and sit down with their relatives and have a talk. And they're living in quite a comfortable environment, and wherever it's possible with ground level accommodation, it may even have a door to the outside with tables and chairs in a little alfresco area outside. So it becomes almost like a reasonable quality mini apartment, but it's got the facilities and the support that people need from aged care.
Now, of course, Robert, this is all very well, but it's going to cost money, and it's also going to require a lot of government change in regards to the policies in which they look at aged care. So how do you see this entering the political arena?
Well, I think what we see these days is that there is an increasing percentage of people who are older, percentage of people 65 years in age and older. They have votes, they can vote, and of course their quality of life is what is at the forefront of their thinking. So politicians need to realise that this is a potentially very large voting bloc. So I think we need to, as a community and particularly the government, start looking at how funding is allocated and what sort of facilities are being provided, perhaps changes in regulations, changes in planning attitudes, but most importantly, an ability for governments to assist people, perhaps through loans and perhaps through changed regulations to do with loans coming from lending institutions, that can enable developers to build these facilities and can also enable people to afford to live in them.
And Robert, the final thing is, do you believe that you can design, and architects, not just you, but all architects looking at these aged care areas, can start to design these properties so that they will have more relevance to our ageing population?
Well, as an architect, one of the things that myself and most other architects do, we're continually looking at facilities. We're getting feedback from the operators of facilities, and we're looking at the sorts of things that people are wanting and making estimates and making forward projections of what we think will provide them with a good quality of life. And we're looking at ways in which we can design these facilities to suit. And there's no doubt that the nursing home or aged care facility in 10 years' time will look vastly different to the ones that exist today. They'll be larger, they'll have better quality facilities, they'll have computer rooms, they'll have residence activities, and these are even for people that are needing a fair level of care, because not only are these facilities available for the people that are living there, but the better the facilities are, the more likely their children, their grandchildren are to come and visit and enjoy those facilities too.
Thank you, Robert.